We do have a responsibility to keep you up to date with what's going on.
Yeah, everything just went downhill like Wednesday night. Like the entire world just changed essentially.
Yeah, I never would have known that this would be the state that we're in, but moving
Yeah,
on.
but the coronavirus is having an impact on our campus as well. On Wednesday, a mass mail was sent out informing students and staff of the decision to move classes online. Joining us now is Jared Farmer with the details of the letter. Jared?
Thanks, guys. And yesterday afternoon, Champaign Mayor Deborah Finan actually declared a local emergency. Today at 9:30, the Champaign City Council met to discuss provisions that will allow the city more flexibility in the coming weeks. We will provide more updates on that as they become available. On Monday, earlier this week, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker issued a disaster declaration for the state of Illinois.
I am formally announcing a disaster proclamation for Illinois, our version of a state of emergency. I know that this is a difficult time for people as we try to understand and respond to something this new. It's reasonable to feel apprehension. I want folks to understand this is going to affect your daily life. But know that your city, your county, and your state officials are working hard to stay ahead of this.
As a preemptive move aimed at containing and preventing the spread of the virus throughout the state, the declaration maximizes, the state's ability to request medical experts and to ask for funding. The governor is also urging Illinois residents to not hoard supplies such as medical masks in order to ensure that the professionals have full access. Across the country, over 100 colleges and universities have made the decision to cancel in-person classes. The University of Illinois will be following suit after spring break. President Tim Killeen announced that classes at each of the 3 universities in the Illinois system are going to begin switching to online instruction after spring break. Classes will still be held at their regular scheduled times, but through an alternative method of instruction. Students will have the option of returning to campus after break, and university accommodations such as residence and dining halls will stay open. It's unclear at this time how long classes are planned to be provided this way, though this is expected to only be temporary. The university will keep students and faculty updated as the situation continues to develop. And there are currently no reported cases of coronavirus in the Champaign-Urbana area, but keeping healthy is a top priority. It's critical to stay vigilant and to keep your eyes open whether you will be traveling or staying home this spring break. Symptoms can take up to 2 weeks to appear and include coughing, fever, and shortness of breath. A chain message circulating on social media claims that there is a self-check method that one can perform when they wake up to see if they have the virus. However, Snopes is reporting that this is not accurate and should not be used to confirm your own health. Remember to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds after coughing, sneezing, or using the restroom, and to avoid touching your face. If you suspect that you have been exposed to the virus, please quarantine yourself, and then when the time is right, go ahead and see your doctor. As for the virus itself, travel to Italy and China have been prohibited, and many countries across the globe are also reporting cases. Here's what it's looked like so far, the spread of COVID-19 in the U.S. As of Thursday afternoon, at least 1,504 people in 45 states and Washington, D.C. have tested positive for COVID-19. The first known case was announced on January 21st in Washington state, with the number of cases increasing significantly in recent weeks. At the beginning of March, just 2 weeks ago, only 70 cases had been reported, largely stemming from overseas travel. But more than half of total cases have been reported in Washington, California, and New York. Any students returning to the West Coast should be especially careful, as it's believed that the virus has already begun spreading within the local community. So far, a total of 39 people have died. It's unknown what the future holds regarding the situation as it continues to unfold. School is expected to return March 23rd, but with such rapid developments unfolding as it has been over the past week, nothing is too certain. It's very likely that this as well could be the last episode of GMI that airs this season, which means that this could be the last episode that the graduating class of 2020, myself included, is involved in. And if it is, while bittersweet, it's been one roller coaster of a ride. And until we meet again, I'll say it one last time, make it a great day, and good morning, Illini. That's all for our UI7 News Desk. Back to you guys. Thanks, Patrick. The start of the year is always the perfect time to look for your friend groups and join clubs and RSOs here on campus. But Quad Day actually wasn't the only place to look. I went out to an event known as Blackouts, that's Black Organizations United for Total Success, to represent the National Association of Black Journalists. But I also went there to show you what you may have missed. If there's one thing that a dad never leaves home without, it's a good old dad joke.
Joey Lagatuda took us to the quad to share some of his best jokes with his friends. Let's take a look. Well, this is definitely not my thing, and Necrosis seemed way scarier than the other ones. So.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye to Halloween. And Liam, like, wow, you just basically took over the show.
It is mine now. It shall be called Good Morning Liam.
All right, pump the brakes. With over 2,500 events taking place over 150 countries, the Strikers' message could be heard loud and clear. Now it's up to the world's leaders to act. And thankfully for those protesting and the general public alike, temperatures are finally starting to drop. But don't take my word for it. Let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. On Wednesday.
Martha Cohn, a 98-year-old Holocaust survivor and former spy, spoke about her experiences working as French intelligence.
Event participants emphasized the significance of events like these. Cohn had posed as a nurse and crossed enemy lines to pass on information about the Nazis to the French. Over 2,000 people were in attendance at this event, and it was so many people, Erica, that not everybody was actually able to get a seat in, and I honestly think that that is truly amazing. Real interesting. Okay. Hold up. Could I hold it for a
Of
second?
course. Yeah, she's very friendly.
Hey there, buddy. Wow. You know, I've never actually held a sea turtle before. I said sea turtle. It's just this is not a sea turtle. Yeah, box turtle. That's what I meant.
Hey, we're here talking all things Cotton Club.
What's up, sister?
Literally sister, because I was his sister.
Literally. In the act. We were children, and there was a third little sister. She's not here with us right now, but yeah, it was the three of us. This year was cinema, movies, and Cotton Club has been around since the 1980s, and it really the Harlem Renaissance in the 1920s. So this is something that our campus has adapted, and it really ignites and emphasizes Black culture on campus. It almost is like how a show turning out here is. Like, it's just so much energy and enthusiasm, and I'm lost at my words because that's how amazing it was.
Can we talk about how we were thrown into a dance 2 days before Cotton Club?
Man,
now,
okay.
I'm not the most rhythmically.
Yeah.
I'm kind of challenged in that area. So when I had to dance, I was scared, not going to lie. I'm better at beatboxing and rapping. So for me to dance, it's just not.
But here's the thing, right? If you actually were watching that performance, you looked way better than I did, because I had to move to the back because I wasn't getting the moves down. I'm a bit of a stiff person, so...
Yeah. Man, I wish I would have beatboxed in the show. That would have been amazing. You know what? Do you think I should do it again? Should I bring it back?
Come back as an alumnus, yeah. Cotton Club 2020!
Cotton Club 2020!
2021, actually.
Taylor on the beat, Jared's with me. I don't know.
We should host the intermission next time.
Our next story. The Illini football started their spring season and working hard to prepare for the fall.
The team started practice on March 26th, and they are going to have 15 practices leading up to their annual orange and blue spring game on April 13th. Illini football has been in a bit of a rebuild process since Coach Lovie Smith started in 2016. And last year, the Illini went 4-8, which was their best season yet.
The Illini are continuing to improve their put in work during the season. And new recruits, new coaching staff changes. Hopefully we're going to see success because I personally believe in them. I don't know about you.
Right. I'm excited to see what we've got coming up from them this season. Defensive tackle and redshirt sophomore Jamal Woods, he had the chance to talk to GMI about what he expects and some of the progress that they've made during the offseason. So,
yeah, we're trying to we don't want to look at that losing season no more. We're trying to progress from that and be able to make it to a bowl game this year. We want us to be known as the team that came from nothing, now we're something. So this year, it's time to make that change.
Next up, the last session of spring intramurals started and is in full swing. Intramurals is a great option for students on campus who played in high school and missed the competitive atmosphere, or just someone looking to have fun.
They're relatively easy to join, and they have activities that fit just about everybody's needs and abilities. Anybody can create a team, whether it's your fraternity, sorority, group of friends, RSO, doesn't really matter. You know, some of the sports that are included are sand volleyball, as you could see, soccer, football, of course, flag football, if you don't feel like tackling people, and ultimate frisbee, a personal favorite of mine.
Ooh, you know, back in my day, I used to play basketball, so I need to, you know, join an intramural team or GMI. We can do frisbee.
Of course.
You know, Patrick's really athletic, as we've seen in the past,
Our-
so we should definitely
Our
put him on the
MVP
team.
freshman Patrick Catazone.
Good morning, Illini. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Addie Ippinson.
And I'm Jared Farmer. Today is March 1st, which means it's the first day of unofficial St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
Addie, this is your last unofficial. How are you feeling?
It is. I'm excited to get the weekend started, but of course we got to start with GMI action in the morning. But
Of course.
yeah, I am excited. Definitely because it's just kind of a senior holiday too, so it'll be fun to celebrate. But first, let's check out what we've got going on the show today.
And top of the morning,
to you,
Illini.
Another memory that you enjoyed.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't entirely enjoy staying in like our practice places till like 11, but if there was one thing I enjoyed, it was just getting to be able to like meet all of these new people and different people that I otherwise would not have met. So, I mean, there's a give and a take with that. I'd certainly say I made a whole lot more friends and like have a bigger community to like reach out to as a resource. So I would say that if there was anything that I could have taken away from Cotton Club, it was definitely that.
Can you just tell us really quickly, what was your favorite act?
Favorite act? Ooh, okay. I'm gonna be a little bit biased here and say Temptations because I was the one that introduced that in our script.
Oh my gosh.
But joke here, because we're supposed to be playing children, I was complaining about us seeing different types of movies, and I was like, when are we gonna see some movies with some real men like my 10-year-old self? And it got a decent laugh out of the audience, casual flex. But I would say, yeah, that was my favorite
Well,
part of the thing.
I'm glad we see the real man right now.
Right.
I'm not sure. I would love to read our first stories with them, but they're kind of hard to read, so we will.
Fair enough.
You'll see these later in the show, maybe.
Right.
Well, starting off today's show with GMI on campus, where we'll look at different stories across campus.
For our first story today, it's been a busy week in Champaign restaurant news with Distill moving out of downtown Champaign, and now Farron's Pub is also making a move.
That's right. I've heard they're named the best burger in Illinois by TripAdvisor last year, though, so I think it's a good addition.
Interesting.
And producer Maddie said she saw the mac and cheese burger in person and said she definitely wanted to give it a try.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it is going to be in downtown Champaign, so it's going to be a bit of a commute for some students. Do you think it's worth it?
I mean, any good food is worth a little commute, right?
Yeah, that is true.
Luckily, I have a car, so I'm always the one that's driving people, my friends who don't have cars downtown.
Yeah,
if it's
same.
worth it.
Yeah, so it's no big deal. But if you are taking the bus, it might be.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this
We'll
shakes
see. We will see.
out. Well, switching gears.
There. Nothing is official at the moment, but they hope to make this festival an annual event and book a bigger venue than Lincoln Square Mall to give the Champaign-Urbana community more opportunities to experience Black culture. In some more serious news, a noose was found in a university elevator, so students gathered at the residence hall where it took place to reclaim their space. Attendees also discussed coping mechanisms and resources available to reach out to when dealing with incidents like this in the future. University of Illinois sophomore Andrew Smith said he tied a noose in the residence hall to scare off ghosts and that it just happened to be a racial hate symbol. After the noose went viral on social media, Smith decided to come forward. He was arrested shortly after it was reported, and he's since been expelled from the university. Another group of university students spoke out in protest, but instead of trying to reclaim their space, they wanted to reclaim their environment. Hey, hey, ho, ho, fossil fuels have got to go, was all that could be heard on the University of Illinois main quad on Friday morning. To be fair, actually, Chris, it's funny that you did make Addie did make the tuxedo reference, because I'm the only one that actually...
That's right! Oh my gosh! Perfect segue!
Right.
Now, before we do this, let's go over the ground rules.
Rule number 1. No touching of the hair or face.
Of course. And that's it!
Now let's do this!
Here with us in the studio with Jared over there talking about his campaign and why he wanted to represent the U of I. Throw it over to you guys to talk about his goals for the semester. Jared, what's up?
Well, thanks, Maddie. And of course, as you said, joining me today in the studio is our newly elected student body president, Connor Gisellis. Mr. President, does it feel good to have that title?
It certainly does. I'm not president yet. We got about 2 more weeks until I'm officially sworn in, but I'm very excited.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so my first question for you is, what made you want to run for student body president, and what do you think drove you to win your campaign?
Yeah, you know, I think right now is an important moment in the history where the youth are really taking charge of a lot of these movements. I think it's happening on a lot of campuses across this country, across the world. I think it's missing out a little bit here, and I want to bring that movement here. I think we ran an interesting campaign. We tried to reach out to a group of voters that traditionally hasn't been reached out to, and we were successful in that. We really utilized social media, and clearly it worked out, so yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so what are you most excited for during your term?
You know, I'm really excited to bring new faces into Illinois student government and bring new ideas. I know there's a lot of good people in Illinois student government who I can't wait to get to work to. There's a lot of issues facing, like the environment, like textbook affordability and campus affordability, that we're ready to tackle head on.
All right, so what's your vision for your term here, and what do you try and hope to accomplish while you're president?
Yeah, and like I said, we've ran on this platform throughout this campaign, environmental sustainability, campus affordability, student safety, and student advocacy. So I really want to see this campus get really more involved in all that. I think we can make this campus emission-free. I think we can lower our textbook costs, lower all costs associated with being a student, and I think we can make it safer on campus. Let's update those blue lights. Let's get blue lights on off campus for the phones. And let's give voices to people trying to make change.
Okay, and of all of those goals that you have for yourself, what do you think is your priority and why?
You know, I think the priority and the thing on everyone's mind has to be campus affordability. I mean, you shouldn't have to be spending $400 a semester on textbooks. So we want to work with the bookstore. We want to work with textbook providers to lower those costs.
Okay, and I guess one final question. Everybody's dying to know: the Otter or the Champ? What's your preference?
Look, I think the Otters. I think we can do better than that. I think clearly the student voice has spoken. Shooting that down. I'd be open to the Champ. I think it's a pretty good idea, but I think whatever mascot or symbol we decide, the whole student body's got to be behind it. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and be sure to keep a lookout for Connor's plan of action throughout his term as student body president. Thank you for joining us, of course, Connor. We'll throw it back over to Maddie.
Wow, thanks. That was really informative. I'm actually very excited to see what's in store for the next couple of years.
Thanks, guys, and good morning, Illini. Jared Farmer here to bring you your UI7 news desk. It's been a politically charged week here at the university, so let's not waste any time and just get right into it. First, the Illini Student Government Resolution 03.61 was vetoed by its executive branch, but issues with voting records threatened to nullify both the resolution and executive action entirely. The non-binding resolution called for the university to divest from defense companies Elbit Systems, Northrop Grumman, and Raytheon, all of which have supplied weapons for the defense of Israel. The resolution passed on the Senate floor with 20 affirmative votes, but complications with the iClickers that the senators used to vote caused discrepancies in the online voting records that did not match their in-person decision. The student government's judiciary branch began nullification talks on Wednesday and will determine if the vote on the resolution followed improper procedures. If the vote is not nullified, the Student Senate can still override ISG President Connor Gisselis' veto with the resolution of a 2/3 majority. In other news, conservative commentator Ann Coulter has been scheduled to speak at the university this April. Coulter began her career as a lawyer and garnered public attention after the success of her first book, High Crimes and Misdemeanors: The Case Against Bill Clinton, back in 1998. Over the years, Coulter has remained a controversial figure for statements she has made regarding race, abortion, LGBT rights, and immigration. The university's chapter of a conservative student organization known as Turning Point USA organized Coulter's speech, which will be held in Greg Hall's room 112. The university president of TPUSA, Madeline Hubbard, said Coulter will be taking questions from attendees after her speech and that the event is a great chance to support the First Amendment. Any students who are interested in attending the event may register for it online, as well as a live stream that will be also provided for the event.
With Mom's Day coming up this weekend, I've always wondered how GMI crew looked as kids.
Right, well, Taylor, you're in luck because we have collected all of the baby pictures of some of the crew at GMI, and let's have a little fun. We could take a little bit of time guessing who's who in their throwback pictures.
Let's see. All right, let's go. Let's do this.
Okay.
Andrea.
Yeah, that looks like Andrea. Boom. 1 for 1.
Oh yeah, money. Oh wait, that's not money, that's cards.
That's
Okay, who's
Addie.
that? Addie.
That's a Addie,
Addie.
right? Yep.
Oh gosh, she's
Oh,
beautiful.
Who could that be?
Who could that be?
Right.
Oh snap, that's Taylor Howard. Okay, Claire.
Yeah, I think, yep, that's Claire. And then,
Ooh, that must be you.
go out. If you haven't seen Avengers Endgame, most definitely do that. I know I'm going to be seeing that. And if you can't see it tonight, you know, we'll be back with the weekend weather forecast. You'll be able to see what the conditions are like. Maybe you'll be able to go out and see it in the weekend.
That's right, Jared. It's great conditions for some movie watching.
Right, exactly.
What is your favorite place to go out to eat after a night with friends here on campus?
Addie, it doesn't really matter where I go or what I'm doing. By the end of the night, everybody's at McDonald's.
Yes, I can agree to that. There's nothing better than cheap and good food. And especially when the atmosphere is pretty nice too, right?
Absolutely.
Well, GMI's Chris Joe got the chance to take a closer look at the man behind late night jams at the McDonald's on Green Street. Let's see what you got, Chris.
And last but not least, a new bill introduced to the state Congress would prevent all Illinois schools from using a Native American logo, mascot, or any other type of Native American imagery. This bill has been introduced as the Illini continue to debate over whether or not to have a new mascot, return to its original mascot, or continue not having a mascot at all. However, Native American imagery would be allowed if the school does all of the following. The school must receive written consent from a Native American tribe within 500 miles of the school, and it must be renewed every single 5 years. Additionally, the school must conduct school-wide programs on Native American culture that should be held every semester, highlighting their contributions to society. And finally, they have to file an annual report with the State Board of Education presenting their academic programs for approval. Any school who fails to comply with this law would become ineligible to play in any playoffs. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time that we have for right now, but don't go anywhere. We will have Grace Cacciatorian right back with you at 3:30 for more on your UI7 newscast.